all, this is Halloween, and if you love haunted history and cemetery walkthroughs as much as I do, you've come to the right place. I'm going to be taking you somewhere new every week. Today, we're headed to Gotha. It's a city right outside of Orlando. It's around in the Orlando area of Florida, and we're going to the Woodlawn Memorial Park Cemetery, where Bob Ross is buried, as well as a few other notables. Enjoy! We're here at Woodlawn Memorial Park in Gotha. Gonna go in and see what we can see. GoPro, stop recording. We're here at Woodlawn Memorial Park. This cemetery is just beautiful. Now, if we look around, it's a lot of the flat headstones, so we're not going to see a whole lot of really older headstones probably here, really ornate. I think this is a newer, I didn't actually see when this cemetery was established, but we know it's at least been here since 1995. That's when Bob Ross passed away, but it's a cold day, so I'm really glad that there's not a lot of shade in this cemetery today. I need that sun. There are a few people that I'm looking for today. Bob Ross is one of them. Lonesome Dave Preverett from, he was actually the lead singer in Foghat. And there are several baseball and football players that are buried here that I would like to find. There was three, I think, 2 baseball players and a football player that I'd like to find. But it's a lot of ground to cover. And the likelihood of me finding everybody is probably very slim. We're gonna go ahead and try anyway. I'm gonna take a lot of pictures in this cemetery because although it's a lot of the flatter headstones, not really a whole lot as far as, you know, the older, more ornate headstones, there's still a lot of beautiful things to see. Let's take a look. In the back of the cemetery, they have a huge columbarium niche. There are several of these buildings. I don't know if there's an inside, but if there is one, I'm gonna find it. There probably is. You can go inside where they hold funeral services and things like that. And there's a beautiful mural on the front of this building I took a still shot of. Look how pretty. It's so nice. It's a beautiful day. The grounds are kept so nicely. These are really my favorite.
Boom.
Huh. We're gonna walk back to the truck and actually do more driving around in this cemetery because it's huge. Probably hundreds of acres of land here, but it's nicely marked. So if you go to find a grave, if you're actually looking for somebody specific like we are, it tells you what section they're in, what number they are, plot, and all of that. And find a grave isn't always accurate, but I think in this case it may be. So I would suggest if you want to find Bob Ross or Lonesome Dave Preverett or any of the famous ball players that are buried here, go to findagrave.com and just look up what plot and section that they're in. we came up close to the niche, and they have this beautiful mural on the outside of the front of the niches. It's just gorgeous. And I thought it was painted, but it's actually mosaic. Millions of little mosaic tiles that made this beautiful mural of Jesus, the Last Supper, and all of these different Bible stories. That's so cool. Let me see if I can get up close enough so you can see that it's just little tiles. Hopefully you can see from there. That is exquisite. These really are my favorite cemeteries. Dignity has their stuff together. Let me just tell you, when it comes to just keeping the ground so nicely. Look at this grass. I wish I had that grass at home. That looks like ryegrass, rye seed, but it's beautiful. Little gazebo there in the middle. And they do have bathrooms here. They have an office and bathroom you can use. They were actually having a service today. We just went in and used the bathroom. So if you are here, because the grounds are huge, if you're here for a while, you may need to use the restroom. So they're really nice about letting you come in, use the restroom. Wow. Niches go down on either side of this middle section here. And there are probably thousands. There are beautiful little kind of private areas here, I guess. But you kind of see what I mean about how nicely they keep their cemeteries. Oh, who's that guy? We're here at the legendary gravesite of Bob Ross. Now he is in section O of the cemetery, very close to the niche that has the bell tower. And there's also this beautiful statue, monument, memorial thing right next to him, right next to a large tree here. So if you are looking for Bob Ross, that's where you're going to find him. He was actually quite easy to find, but some distance from the entrance to the cemetery. So you will need to drive over to section O to find him. But Bob Ross was born October 29th, 1942 in Daytona Beach. He, as a kid, wasn't too keen on school, and he actually preferred being in his father's workshop. So in the 9th grade, he drops out of school and started working with his dad there in his workshop. Once he was of age, he joined the Air Force and he became an officer, and he was also a medical records technician. And he didn't really care too much for that because it required him to be stern and sometimes even harsh with people. It kind of went against his docile and gentle sort of character. So while stationed in Fairbanks, Alaska, he took to painting. And he had no shortage of beautiful scenery there. It became his muse. And that's where he really got inspired to start doing landscape work. Painting landscapes. And he really enjoyed doing that and found that it brought him a lot of peace in a situation where he had to be this sort of stern and even aggressive at times officer. He served 20 years in the military. After that, he came back to Florida, where he was from, and started apprenticing under Bill Alexander, who at the time already had a painting show, an instructional painting show. And he wasn't making a whole lot of money doing this, so he actually grew his hair out and permed it. And despite hating the look, he figured he could save a lot of money in haircuts that way. So that's the whole reason why he did it, so he could save money and wouldn't have to pay for haircuts. Well, he ended up having his own show on PBS, and it debuted in 1983. And the hair kind of became part of his celebrity. So despite the fact that he hated the look, he couldn't quite get rid of it because now people knew him for his afro. He actually was a smoker, and he ended up having 2 heart attacks and his first bout with cancer by the time he was age 40. and then it had gone away and gone into remission, and then the cancer came back. He ended up succumbing to the cancer in 1995 at the age of 52. So that's a little backstory on Bob Ross. I'm thrilled to finally be here at his site. As you can see, people have left paintbrushes, and I think they have to clear it off from time to time, but I've seen in photographs where people have left pallets of paint and different things for him. There's a beer there, and he's not the only celebrity buried here. There are a few. It's amazing to me sometimes just to see how modest their grave sites are. Some of the most important people have some of the most modest grave sites I've ever seen. So that's him, Mr. Weaver. He's right on the main road here in Section O. So if you want to come see Monte Weaver, there he is, buried with his wife Roberta, who passed in 2003. I am once again in the presence of greatness. David Preverett, Lonesome Dave Preverett from the band Foghat, is buried here. This is his final resting place. Lonesome Dave Preverett was born in Dulwich, London, April 16th, 1943. In 1970, Foghat released 12 studio albums and 1 live album in the 1970s, and enjoyed great success with their 1975 album, Fool for the City. Foghat disbanded in 1984, and Preverett returned to England for 6 years. Then returned to the States to reunite with Foghat, and upon his return, they got to work and released 1 studio album in 93 and 1 live album in 98. They toured with the new material between 93 and 98 and disbanded again in 1999. Preverett passed away due to kidney cancer in 2000, and it looks like his wife Linda followed not long after. So another great buried here in the Woodlawn Memorial Park Cemetery in Gotha. We're over here in the arbor section of the cemetery, and oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. Look at this sort of stream that they have with the waterfall. Oh, so beautiful. I'm telling you, if you want to bury your loved ones where they're going to be respected and honored, Dignity has it in the bag, man. Their cemeteries are beautiful. I mean, just look at these grounds. The maintenance is just outstanding. They just put so much care and effort into everything that they do. headed out of the cemetery now. I almost found everybody that I wanted to find, and I'm so glad that I got to cover more than just Bob Ross. There really are a lot of significant people buried here. And I've noticed that a lot of people come here and they miss the mark on that. They miss visiting all these other celebrities that are buried here. So I hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna go get a bite to eat. How cute is this place behind me? We're here at Yellow Dog Eats, about a mile or less from the cemetery. Gonna stop in and get a bite to eat. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope you loved our trip to Gotha. We had a great time. Again, the food was amazing at this Yellow Dog barbecue place. It was awesome. I couldn't rave enough about the food. We had a great food weekend, that's for sure. Dignity Memorial Cemeteries, I mean, they are the best, the upper echelon of cemeteries. They have the funding, I guess, for it. I mean, every one of them is so beautiful. It's like a theme park, you know, the way they have it landscaped and everything. So kudos to Dignity for keeping it real and always honoring our departed in such a beautiful and respectful way. It's so nice to see. And if you haven't yet, there's going to be many more videos like this. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. And I'll see you next time.